Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients, smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
What's going on, fam? This is Jay Cameron inviting you to join us in Ethiopia next March 2025. And this is going to be an iconic trip that you don't want to miss, a trip of a lifetime. We're going to be visiting Addis Ababa, Gondor, Lalibela. You'll have a chance to taste the amazing Ethiopian food. You'll also have a chance to visit the Rastafarian community. You'll get the history, you'll get the fashion, you have an opportunity to shop. It's going to be a trip, an experience of a lifetime. So make sure you sign up to join us in Ethiopia, March 2025.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you, and I need to change that. I forgot to change that from last night. All right, we'll change that in real time. I was kind of busy doing some other things, so y'all hear me real good, but shout out to y'all, shout out to y'all, shout out to y'all. All right, so it is Sound Off Friday, Sound Off Friday. Now, you know how this goes. You know how this goes, but I had received a phone call today from someone, and they're going to come up and have a short conversation about, their time as a probation officer in the state of California. So, we'll be getting to that particular call, I think in about 10 minutes or so. But we're going to take care of what we need to take care of. All right, so hope everybody's just doing well. I know some kids started school already this week, definitely here in Texas. I don't know if any other places your kids start school was back to the grind and getting up, sending them to school and picking them up and paying for lunch and everything else in between, ladies and gentlemen. Everything else in between. Okay, I was checking my screen there. All right. So, who's down there? I'm going to make sure I'm reading everybody. All right, so today, Friday, still 5 spots left on the Ethiopia trip. As of right now, 5 spots left. And you probably want to get it ASAP because it's dwindling down. We started off with 25. Now we're down to 5. If you want to secure your spot, you can make payments until the trip, March 2025. Make sure to go to africandiasporanews.org/Ethiopia. And then you can look at the itinerary, check it out. You can pay your deposit. I know the deposit amount was $199. And you can secure your deposit and make your payments. And I will say to people, just make sure that's something you want to do. And because, when you start making payments, that's not nothing you're going to be able to say, oh, give me a refund. That's not really how that works. Definitely with situations like that. I remember one time, and this is a story. So we was planning on our anniversary ceremony, me and my wife, our 10-year. We had this venue, we was paying payments to this venue, and they would just start, some people like, oh, I'm getting your money, so I can just start doing whatever, right? And boy, they made my wife so mad. I was getting mad, and then we were talking about it and said, man, could we cancel here? We're going to lose this money. I was like, shoot. But it was just getting so out of hand that I just say, we have to bite the bullet on this. And so we went to another location. Another location we went to was great situation. I guess it was meant to happen, but, I couldn't get that money back. It was just part of it. You start paying payments. And the reason why companies do that is because if everybody say, okay, now give my money back and do this and do that, then you can't really operate. I get it. But yeah, that was an interesting story about, 2.5, almost 3 years ago. All right, so let's go on and get to our devotional for today. I heard that they start putting out the numbers on your girl Tiffany Henyard, that the Dalton will have like $5+ million surplus, and now the city's like $3.6 million in debt. And your girl Tiffany, they said one day she spent $43,000 on Amazon on the city credit card. I'm like, what did you buy that you had to spend $43,000 on Amazon with the city credit card? Because Chopper Suit Lightfoot, she digging in digging in that money, and Super Mayor not liking that, but she was using that money like her personal credit card. Oh, Super Mayor. So shoot, yeah, I think in honor of all that money, man, we may have to listen to her today. Shoot, cause she the leader. Might as well. I'm gonna have to take some time and go through that stuff about Tiffany, but shoot, since we talking about it, let's cue up.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. So this is what it's all about, guys.
Hey guys, it's Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work.
What is that?
No comment. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power. If you ain't seen that yet. And someone so young. Everybody gotta understand, God give you what you can handle. That's what God give you. He ain't gonna give you more than that. As long as you can stay the course, fight the fight, and keep going, that's what we're gonna do here at Thornton Township.
Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
So now you have to listen in order to learn. Remove her.
Go tell that.
All right, that was your Super Mayor. We're gonna have to cover that. We're gonna have to take a little time and go through, while I'm waiting on my guest here. Let's see if I can pull up that article about Super Mayor while we're waiting on. Let me check if she's back here. Okay, I think that's her back there. I think that's her. Hold on. Hey, sister, if that's you, just click, because I see what it says. Click your camera on and off if that's you. And you know who I'm talking to. Or you can just send me a text if you're in the room. Let me text you. How about that? Just give me a second. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. All right, I just sent you a text real quick. So just respond to it, let me know that's you, and then we'll go ahead and get this thing started. And we'll be talking about your vice president and what she was doing as an attorney general. Let me switch my screen real quick. Just give me a second. Let me make sure, because I don't know if she's paying attention. Just let me switch my screen. Y'all, I'm just doing things in real time. Hey, sister, is that you on the screen?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. All right. So let me go and get my screen the right way, and we will get it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let me change this too. I was just doing this on the fly. So how you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. Just hot.
It's hot out there in the great state of California.
Yeah, it's triple digits. Yes.
Oh wow! But the good thing about California is that y'all don't have the humidity like we do down here. It feel like you in an oven down here. Then them stupid hurricanes. Oh.
Well, I think we have an idea because it's been pretty humid, unbearable, not what we're used to. But then it depends on where you live in the state. It's a big state, so it just depends.
All right, so let's get a little background about voting and different things like that. Definitely, your state is a supermajority state with the Democrat Party.
Yes.
And were you raised to be a Democrat?
Yeah, I think everybody in California pretty much. We weren't given an option. It's like, we were told to be a Democrat. It was never even a thought of thinking anywhere outside the box.
Okay. All right. So you was told, because I know when I was a kid, I always asked questions. I always been that kind of kid. Like, you just couldn't tell me that just do this. I'm actually why. Like, why are we doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the purpose of that? Well, what about the other thing? I've always been, and they used to get me in trouble, because I always been the one to do that. So if we fast forward to the time at the time, Vice President Kamala Harris, she was the Attorney General of California, but then she was the District Attorney in San Francisco. So tell us about your career as a probation officer. How long were you there, and what did you actually do?
Well, okay, so I was in juvenile, and I spent about 15 years, maybe I'll go close to 15 years in juvenile. And of those 15 years, I spent 7 years with the school. At the time that Kamala Harris was Attorney General, that's when they started statewide having probation officers in the school and a school resource officer that is usually from the sheriff's department. And at that time, what was brought to our attention was the strategic gang plan. So they put probation officers in the school under her tenure. And that there were some issues with that.
So why? What was the reasoning of her putting probation officers in the school? Like, why?
Well, it's supposed to make the school safer, but really there were other issues. Just in my own understanding, and I've talked to some other POs, and they have the same experience. It was supposed to curb school violence, but also supposed to curb truancy under the guise of helping these marginalized families. So they didn't put them in the really nice schools. A lot of the POs that I know and myself went to the schools that were in the communities that had a high level of highly melanated people, foundational Black Americans. And so those are the schools that the probation officers were placed in.
Okay, and so when you place in these schools, what is it you were supposed? They're talking about keep it safe, but what were you doing to keep it safe, according to what Kamala wanted y'all to do?
Well, Okay, so here's another thing is that one of the things is if somebody had a fight or something went on, they wanted us to cite the kid in the court. So, when I was coming up, if you had a problem with a kid, if they hit you, you hit them back. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. Or the parents had a meeting, but it was about, hey, write these citations into the juvenile traffic court. And what that did was that created a paper trail. So when that child got in trouble later on, they could go back to the juvenile traffic court and say, well, hey, this kid had problems back in elementary or junior high. And so the other thing about that was they had us writing these truancy citations under an ed code, which is 48260, if I can remember it right, 48260, where they had us writing like $500 citations to the parents of a child if they missed a certain amount of school. Now, and you go to school 9 months out of the year. So if you miss 10 days of school, you're a habitual truant. But they changed that to where if you had 3 absences that were not, and your parents forgot to call it in, then they could say that you're a truant. And then they want to send you to a hearing. And that hearing is that's created a lot of damage. The hearing is called the SARB hearing, a SARB A and a SARB B. So here it is. These parents are working hard every day. They're sending the kids to school. Maybe the kid ditched class, or maybe I saw where some children had medical issues, and the parents are waiting for the school to create some type of independent study so the child wouldn't get behind. Well, they'll send a letter. They were sending letters to the parents saying your child missed school. We think that they missed too much school, so now you have to go to this hearing. You don't even understand as a parent, what is this about? You go to the hearing and there's a district attorney, child and family services, a probation officer, and a school principal or a school representative, and sometimes somebody else. And you're coming in a room and it's like court. There's 5 people sitting at a table looking at you, wanting to know why your child's not in school. And sometimes they'll send a letter to the home, and if the parent doesn't get the letter, they don't know that there's a hearing. So when maybe the parent can't get off work. A lot of these parents they had to work 2 jobs just to make it. And the parent gets off work, sees, oh, I missed the hearing. Well, guess what? You didn't show up. So they send an officer to your house to write you a citation for $500. You got to go. The kid doesn't go to court. The parent's going to court. Mm-hmm. So the parent goes to court. And if you have 3 children, and I saw this a lot. If you had 3 children, and maybe one of them was sick and the other 2 caught it, and you're working and you're trying to take care of the kids and you just didn't have time to call in, that's $500 per child. In one instance, that's child? Per child. If you have 3 kids and all 3 of those kids miss those days, that's $1,500. That's what was going on back then. And from my understanding, it's still going on. But back then, I can tell you honestly, because I was a part of this. Not understanding what it was in the beginning. But $500 per child. And if you get cited, let's say 3 times they cite you, you're looking at a county lid, which is 1 year misdemeanor in the county jail for the parent.
So what would happen if you put a parent in jail? What happens to the child?
And somebody in the family got to take the kids. If not, CFS going to take the kids.
Now, a person in the chat was saying that's straight up a school to prison pipeline.
It is, and the strategic game plan is by the 3rd grade, they know how many prisons or juvenile halls to build, so they keeping a track record. This is how they funnel the kids into the school to prison pipeline. And if it wasn't for, there's a lot of the difference between police and probation officers is when police arrest you, he gets a win. If the probation officer arrests you, it's a loss. And so there are a lot of us, that look like us from, highly melanated, who got in the way of that and said, hey, this ain't right. So then there's the kickback where the departments are like, you're going to do this. And we're like, no, we're not, because these are our own kids. These are kids in our community. And I've personally seen mothers when I come to, before I really knew what was going on, because look, I don't work for the school district. I'm contracted to the school district. Mm-hmm. And they break down and say, I already got a couple of these. I can't pay this. I can't keep food on the table. And you got kids going to different schools. So what happens when all your kids, let's say I had one, well, this is actually true. I had some kids, they missed 2 weeks because of lice. The parent got cited in there, had to go to court several times. Thank God the judge knew it wasn't right. The judge knew, he didn't throw it out, but he let her make payments. But you're talking about $3,500.
My Lord. And these are regular working class people.
Working class people. A lot of these people are single parents. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't have cars. I mean, it depends on where you are. There are people that live in more rural or desert areas. There's not much transportation. And if the kids miss the school bus, they have no way to get the kids to school. So instead of saying, okay, let's come up with another way to help this community, it's no, cite them in the court. Next, mom or dad is standing tall in front of a judge. And, it's a year in jail. Now, back then, it wasn't, the jails weren't as crowded. So you might do that year. You would do at least 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So let me ask you a question. What's the worst case you've seen while you were there underneath Kamala Harris's tenure as Attorney General? Uh-oh. What happened?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. I'm here. Go ahead.
This family, they had several kids, single father. The mother did show up, but he was ill. He was fighting an illness in and out the hospital. The older children were trying to help, cook and take care of the younger children, get them to school and stuff. And they hauled him in there, and they didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. The cites were everything, because if the kids aren't sitting in the chairs, they lose money, and that's all it was about, was the money. They didn't offer that man any help. They gave that man such a high bill. They had cited him so much, and he came and he was sick, and you could see he was sick. And he said, I'm trying, I just need some help. And there was no mercy. There was no mercy. So you're talking about almost $10,000.
Oh my Lord, $10,000, and the man was sick.
He was sick. He was frail. You could see he was sick. He had been in and out the hospital, and he was pretty much a single parent. He had to rely on the older kids to help. And it was a rural area, so it was not like they could get on the bus. He got like 6 kids. And so, what they do is once they send you that letter that she was so proud of, and you did show up to a hearing, they put you on a contract. And if you violated that contract one time, you got cited. So either way it goes, if you're going to get cited. So if the kid missed one day of school, it is impossible for a kid to have perfect attendance all year if there's an issue in the home that just needs a little help.
Right.
And so, they get cited for making that one mistake. And then the other part of it is some of the parents just said, this is too much. I'm leaving. I'm moving. Well, guess what? That followed them. So they get to a new school looking for a new start, and here it is in their queue. It followed them.
So they basically would have to leave the state of California to get away from that at that time.
They would have, pretty much, because if you went to another district, that queue would follow you. They would know what that was. And let's say you got to the new school and maybe you didn't have your school closed yet, or for whatever reason. I'm not making excuses for anybody, but you get to the new school and you're getting cited at the new school. You just got there, and you're getting cited there for the same thing.
That's and Kamala's the one that ushered this in.
Yeah, I had never heard of her until this. And I said, when did this start? It had just started. It was about 2007, 2008. She had just became Attorney General. She hadn't been in that long, and then bam. And I was looking back at what she said when she said, well, I decided I'm going to prosecute the parents. That's a quote. She said, I decided. Well, when she did that, she put a lot of harm onto the very people that she says, which, the downtrodden or the marginalized or, the ones at risk. Well, she did harm to the ones she claims now that she wants to help. Now, when you have a misdemeanor on your record, is that going to help you get employment?
Right. But this is the person that Black people are being shamed about, and you got to see her in action, how she treats the community. And now that you see all these Black people talking about Black men for Harris, Black women for Harris, raising all this money, and you got to kind of see her get down. I mean, what is your opinion of that?
Honestly, I cannot. I had somebody close to me really, really say, please vote for her. I said, I cannot, as a Black woman, vote for her. I cannot, and I will not. I will not, because we have nothing to gain. It's the same old thing. The civil rights era was the civil rights era. Those people are much, much older, and the world has changed, and we have not gotten anything. Everybody's above us. Where's her policy? That platinum plan? What, that was better for us. She has no plan. The Democrats told Ice Cube, we'll talk to you after the election. Trump said, no, come talk to me now. Now, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. But I know what I experienced, what I saw. And I can't tell you how many times I had to put my head down because I had to physically, personally experience, the emotions coming from the parents, that had to get these sites and had to go to court and stand in front of a judge and had to sit in the hearing with CF Child and Family Services is in the hearing. That, if nothing else scares you as a parent, that will scare you because you don't know if they're going to say, well, since you can't get the child to school, we're going to take the child. That's a frightening thing to sit in there and nobody looks like you, but everybody wants to know, and they're acting like they're there to help, but really they don't make money helping you. And that's the honest truth.
Money on incarceration, right?
Right. That's where the money is. And you had all these private prisons popping up everywhere. This is California I'm talking about. So there was no money in helping you. There was money in filling up these private prisons. And these, even though juveniles don't go to private prison, the parents are gone. You take the parent away, what happens to the child? There was no money spent on any programs prior to any issues. It was, okay, now we're going to give you help. Yeah, after you already have their information. And another thing they were trying to do was, if a child, the school has counselors, but oftentimes the child doesn't want to talk to the counselor. So if you are a person from the community, they may say, hey, I'm having a bad day. Can I talk to you? And they just want to talk to you. Well, they wanted each child to come to talk to you, even if they just wanted to tell you they had a problem with their puppy, whatever it was. They wanted you to write the child's name down and the student ID number and put it in a database. All of us, you want to start your list. All of us as parents said, no, we will not. Because all we could see was our own children wanting to talk. And next, our child is on a list. No, we refused. And I don't know. I know there was some back and forth going on between that, but all of us refused to do that. And where I worked, and in that unit that I was in, we all refused it.
Was there some retaliation because of that?
Well, things changed. Some people got sent, got transferred out. Some people kind of got messed with. If they can mess with you, they'd mess with you. Some people just, I don't know how they dealt with it, but I know that I'm not one. You can't. Some of us are fighters, and you're not going to scare us, because at the end of the day, you got to go home and go to sleep. And how can you sleep? How can you sleep knowing that you did that? I think the fear was so great of our own children being on that list. I mean, we asked them, what do you want it for? And they never really told us. They said we were instructed to do this. And we said no. Some people said, well, transfer me out. I said, well, I can't say what I said, but, put an H in front of the no.
Right. Yeah. And let me ask you a question. Y'all, a couple of you refused, but the other groups that was those probation officers, did they stand against it, or they were like, shoot, I don't mind?
No, nobody wanted to do it. They all stood it. Okay. From my understanding, we all as a group said no. And we all as a group stood and said, no, we're not going to do it. Period. Because it seemed like.
No, go ahead.
It seemed like once she got in there, it's like this is what she wanted to do. And she didn't care who she was affecting.
But some people were saying, and I know this could be touchy what I'm about to say, because some people medically can't have children and it is a hard thing for them. But when you don't have a child, you're not connected to a point of that experience. Even if you just have one child as a woman, even if you just have one, you still have that nurturing instinct that kind of comes up out of you. It's like activates when you have a child, at least from what I've seen in my short time living. Mm-hmm. But Kamala Harris has never had children. Never. No. And at the same time, she never identified as a black woman. She identified, as an Indian woman.
That's true. That is true. She is. I wish people would stop arguing her blackness, because no. You get in office as vice president, and she made it very clear. I speak English and I understand English very well. She said, I'm not going to do anything just for black people, but you gave an Asian hate crime bill. So I have a problem with you. She didn't lie. She straight said she's not going to do anything. So I don't understand how people are going to vote in somebody who clearly told you they're not going to do anything. They clearly have no policy. They clearly can't answer a straight up question. You laugh because you don't have an answer. How is this going to help us? Why do we have to keep voting? We're the only people who vote as a block without critically thinking about the policies and looking at the historical aspect of that person. Why do we just, I'm with her? I'm not with her. I am not with her. I know, I've seen the tears. I've seen people in court. I've seen people afraid that they're going to lose their children. I've seen it. I was ashamed that I had to hand out the citations that I did. It hurt me to do that. So no, every county, we have many counties in the state of California, and I have talked to other POs, and they've said the same thing. Now, there are some cases where, hey, a parent truly does not care. And I can see that, saying, okay, well, if you're not going to take care of the kids, then we're going to take it over. I can see that. But I've never seen that. I've only seen that case once. Just once. Everybody else is going to work. They're trying to take care of their kids. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to make sure the children have what they need. They're trying. And then you turn around and here's these big, gigantic citations. So if the second time it's 1,000, it doubles.
Oh, so they give you a second one. It goes to $1,000, and if they get the citation threes when it's jail time, or it triples.
It's triple, and after triple, then next thing you know, you may be going before the judge. He may lock you up, or he may let it keep going, and to the point where, okay, I am going to lock you up. You at $10,000 now, $30,000 now. You just keep on and keep on and keep on. Then there ain't gonna be no year. Then it's gonna be on top of that. You're gonna have child neglect charges and all kind of other charges. So you get one, and you got to pay that, and then the child misses school, and you don't know it. Maybe they missed one day. Oh, the law also says that if you're 30 minutes late 3 times in a year. So what if you didn't miss school? What if you were just late? You're going to get a citation.
But that's supposed to be our friends, the Democrat Party. See, I never heard of nothing like that. Like I'm in the state of Texas, and I never heard of nothing like that. Now, of course, they got truancy, here too, but it's kind of like you got to miss, I think, 10 or more days in a semester. Then they're going to bring you basically to the court and say, hey, why your child's not going to school? But it's not 3 days or 30 minutes late 3 times. No. It has to be. And then in the way it works here, the school going to keep saying, hey, what's going on? But as long as you bring your excuse, you're good. You know what I'm saying? But California is supposed to be, the mecca of Democrats. And that sounds like, according to what black people tell me, that's something Republicans should be doing to us.
Well, that's what they did, when they built all the private prisons and really and honestly, if you really sit back and think about California, we have really, I'm born and raised here. I remember, when there were so many of us, I remember there was pride, there were jobs. I remember programs. I remember a lot of things, but now it's like we're getting pushed out. And I don't care if you're in the Bay, if you're in NorCal, Southern Cal, Central, you're pretty much getting pushed out. And, locking these parents up, especially in up in NorCal, and these parents are, a lot of them have manufacturing jobs, or maybe, and for, others, they might work the fields or whatever, agriculture. They can't take off, constantly taking off and going to these hearings and paying this money. They don't have that money to pay. California, back then it was expensive. Now it's unreal. It's unreal. Well, 1-bedroom apartment is $2,300, and if you're in San Jose, a 2-bedroom apartment is like $3,500. So it's unreal that she decided to do this. And we didn't know where she came from because, she worked her way up there. That's for one thing. That's no secret. We all know that.
Yeah, that's the handiwork of downtown Willie Brown.
Yeah, everybody in the Bay, we all know, all the way down to the Tijuana border. We all know. So
you're saying that black people being pushed out, and you say in California, black people had a lot of pride, and Sister Demetria is in the chat. She's born and raised California too. What year did you notice things change?
Under her, or just to change, period?
No, just in general. You mentioned it was a lot of black people. We had pride, Leimert Park, black people badly holding on to Crenshaw, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what year did you notice, like, man, what is going on?
I would say in the late 80s, because what happened was all of a sudden, you would get out, the kids would get out of school in June and go back in September. But then all of a sudden there was a huge influx of illegal immigrants, and all of a sudden there was year-round school. So you had school year-round, and you could have 2 siblings, and one would be off one quarter and the other one would be off another quarter. So you couldn't take family vacations. June, you could go take a vacation somewhere and come back for September and everybody be together. But that changed because now you might be able to take the vacation with one of your children, but the other one's still in school and you can't take the child out. So that's when we started to see a lot of programs, ESL programs, a lot of things started to change. And, but I didn't see, probably in the 90s, we still had a stronghold in the 90s, especially around the Leimert Park area. But, Oakland was still strong. But then late 90s, early 2000s is when it really started to change. And because a lot of people started, I guess they saw the change. I've had people tell me, hey, this place is changing. I'm getting out. And a lot of people went to the South, in particular, Atlanta. And so as people started leaving, then that left more room for more other people to come. And we're still here. We're still strong, but we don't have much because a lot of our politicians have sold us out. And it's not, Leimert Park is holding on for dear life. And now a lot of us are spread out in different, counties, and, we don't have a community anymore. Leimert Park is the last stand, actually, for Southern California.
And y'all still having the taste of soul?
Yeah. So far, still having the taste of soul. And that's when you see us all.
Yeah, I went to Taste of Soul a couple of years ago, and oh my God, that was the best thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was cool. Just chilling with black people. Like it was cool. I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, it's like a family reunion. We used to have back then. We used to have the Black Family Reunion, which was in Rancho La Cienega Park. We used to have a Black Family Reunion at Exposition Park. We used to have these big festivals where we all came together as a family, and we had the music, just like the Taste of Soul. But the Taste of Soul is the biggest one that we have. It's huge. You've been there. It's huge. There's all these stages, all this food, ain't nothing but love. And, we're still having it, but I noticed that our numbers are dwindling.
Oh, okay. And I went, I think, was it 2019, 2018, somewhere around there. I think 2019, 2018. It's the first time I went because I was invited to go out there. I think I went to Politicon out there, and may she rest in peace. Shirley Hussar had say, come to Politicon, I'll take you to Taste of Soul and all that. I was like, okay, because she was Southern California, and yeah, that was really cool. And then I saw how the police had the helicopters out there. I said, what they got the helicopters for? Nobody ain't out here doing nothing. Nobody out there gang banging or nothing. Everybody just chilling. You seen some of the, you seen some of the gang people around, but they were just chilling. They wasn't doing nothing.
No, everybody's trying to enjoy themselves. We're not trying to. Do you have knuckleheads? Yeah, you have knuckleheads. But when it's a black thing, the knuckleheads, they leave that stuff. They try to just come and enjoy and just come together. And, I just wish that we would, I can't even have the conversation because everybody, it's about her, and people just assume that that's who you're voting for because you're black. And no, some of us can think for ourselves. Some of us have read, some of the things that, you got Trump and you've got, Kennedy, and I don't know, you might have Jill Stein, and you might decide to do the couch. You don't have to vote for the lesser of two evils. You can choose not to vote, and that's your right. That is your right. But it's so loose here, and that even right now they're talking about, okay, you want to clean up the homeless camps, but now they want to arrest you for being homeless. Well, how can you, if you can't afford $3,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment, you're gonna arrest somebody from being homeless? We do need to clean it up, but that's not how you do it. But you're supposed to be a Democrat. You're supposed to be for everybody. A lot of those homeless out there, those are our people.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. The majority of the homeless in California are Black Americans.
They are. And, you got nuisance.
Let me ask you a question. You remember when they had the recall on Newsom?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question.
I sure do.
Okay. And it's crazy what I'm about to say. Do you think what's his name? Larry Elder would have been better than Newsom? And Larry Elder, we know his get down. But based on what Newsom has done, do you think Larry Elder would have did that?
I don't think Larry Elder would have did that. I know, and I never liked Larry Elder, but I
Me
Newsom
either.
I never liked him. But you know what? I never, when these people were out here, and I'm going to tell you, I saw people out here on the street corners with signs talking about get rid of Newsom. They had petitions, they had signs. I mean, people were saying get rid of him. Somehow he stayed because, they're so loyal to the Democrat Party. Now, I never liked Larry Elder, never liked him. But if I look at policy, I don't look at emotions. I don't listen to how people talk. I don't look at how they look. I look at the policy and what are you willing to do and can you back it up? And that's what I look at. And, it's just like Obama. We all loved Obama. When Obama got elected the first time, I cried, black man is president. But when you realize that you got nothing out of that, you have to really start to really think for yourself and think about, what did I just do? What did I just vote in? How did I vote? Did I use emotion or did I use logic? Did I look at the policies? Newsom, good looking guy, I guess. He looked like the Joker to me, but good looking guy. They going by looks. They going by he's a Democrat or he gonna save us. That's not what's happening here. You can't afford food. You can't afford a rent. I have somebody that needs child care, and the child care part-time is $1,300 a month. Part-time.
Wait. What you consider part-time? How many
4
days
hours?
a week?
That might be for part-time is like 4 hours a day. It might be 6 hours a day. $1,300 a month.
Jesus Christ.
Now, you notice in the debate that when the moderator asked about child care, neither side answered. They totally blew it off.
Yeah, they don't care. But this is the thing. The Republicans want people to be talking about having children, but if you're not helping people having children, so I hear the Republicans talking about that. So you're not helping them. Then on the other side, they want you to get rid of your children. But nobody wants to help the children regardless.
No. They're not paying attention. They're not listening. Women's rights to their body. I understand that, but so many people don't even know about Margaret Sanger. So many people don't even know what that agenda was. And at Margaret Sanger, if they've never heard of her, she's a person that created Planned Parenthood. In order for her to get to the Black community, because this was the target, she said, we have to go to the church, to the pastor, and then the Black community will buy this. And I got into a huge argument with somebody about that because they were offended that I had mentioned it. And I said, it's the truth. It's the truth. Am I for little girls who have been raped or hurt, having to give birth? No, I'm not. But I'm not for, I don't even want to go into that situation. My thing is, you got to look at the policies. Our numbers are not as high as they used to be. We're not having families the way we were. Our thought process is gone somewhere else. And that's a problem for us. We need our families back. If the schools are not going to educate our children, they have, I got to say it, Phil, they have a thing, I don't know about in Texas, but they have this group, they're called the furries. These are kids that identify as an animal. And they have, kitty litter boxes in the bathrooms. Do y'all have that out there?
No. I ain't heard nothing like that in the great state of Texas. No.
They got that here.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I know. I've heard somebody, I think, because, now Harris County is one of them counties that's similar to like California and some of the way they think. And one person got on the news one day and said there was 1,000 genders. I said, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I said, let me turn this off. Some things you just don't respond to. And to hear something like, okay, so they'll take a child away from a parent because they showed up late to school, but they cool with a parent and having their child being in the furries. Your boy Newsom, then he signed a law where parents don't have to know if their children is transitioning or something like that.
That's true. In Orange County, you mentioned Orange County. Orange County and there's a Chino Unified School District. They fought that. They said, no, we're not doing that. So, the thing about, the thing that's scary about California is usually we're the leader in everything. And what California does spreads. I'm concerned about what's going to spread. If you continue to vote Democrat, I can guarantee you it's going to spread.
Yeah. People don't realize, like, now, let me ask you a question, because I don't want to, I just want your opinion. If Vice President Kamala Harris get elected for some odd reason, what do you think black people's position is going to be after the 4 years of her?
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. We're barely going to make it. We're going to be so messed up, financially, educationally. Crime is going to be ridiculous because people are not going to be able to feed themselves and their families. They're not going to, the jobs are, you see what's happening in Chicago and New York and other places. We're not going to be able to get these jobs. I mean, I'll be honest with you, in California, I rarely see, when I see these city jobs and, you see these people out here working, on the streets or in buildings or whatever, they're not us. So I just see us being in a position where crime will be high because you got to eat. And instead, I beg us to really sit back and come up with a game plan on growing our own food and, learning how to be prepared and saving money and, listen to Dr. Claude Anderson because he been ringing that bell for years. So, there's so many scholars that have been ringing the bell and we're not listening. I don't see us another 4 years of this, and not just us. I think everybody's going to have a problem. But we're going to have it the most. It's going to hit us harder.
I've been seeing even a lot of white people suffering.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. Like, you want to hear them talking about how much they suffering? Go on TikTok. They are crying.
Oh, yeah.
They are crying
I see
crocodile tears.
Oh, yeah. Look what's happening. We're going to get hit the hardest, but everybody is going to get hit because everything is going to people who are not. Why are American veterans sleeping on the street?
Exactly.
Why are they on the street? Why don't you take care of your own? You can do whatever you want for everybody else, but take care of your own first.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah. It's not just California; it's Chicago too. Because I've told this story many times that Brandon Johnson out there in Chicago, he's giving all the migrants secret job fairs, 6 months free rent, but you got homeless people, black people on the street. And when I was in Chicago, the migrants are actually on the street too. They selling stuff, they doing all that, but our homeless. Which, like I said, that time I went out there, it was cold. They had a little sister. It couldn't be, she looked like 20, 21, sleeping on the street. And, we had some, basically an uneaten pizza or whatever. And, I gave the sister, said, hey, you want the pizza? She was happy to take it, right? And then we went in that shop because and then we came back, we bought her a large, like 32 ounce of hot chocolate. And I got so upset. Oh, I was upset because I'm like, Brandon Johnson is sitting up here putting these migrants in all these closed schools that my brothers and sisters fought to not. They didn't want them schools closed. Rahm Emanuel closed all those schools, closed 50 schools in Chicago. But then he could open them up for migrants. But yeah, we got young black girls, boys, veterans, whoever else on the street, and Chicago gets cold. You know that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh my God, Chicago gets cold.
And you know, another thing I was told is Chicago has the strictest gun laws.
They do.
But all the guns. See, that's another thing is we have a right to bear arms. That's a constitutional right. But every time you turn around, they want to do something about you can't, they want to take that away. Listen, if you can't defend yourself, then you have to get down on your knees and deal with whatever they dish out. So people just, I wish people would stop being so emotional and think about the future. Think, these boulets, they are not your friend. They're not your friend. Roland Martin, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all these people bought and paid for. They're not your friends. They don't care about you. And if you think different than them, I was watching him the other day. He's screaming and hollering at this person who's trying to articulate why they don't agree. And he's screaming and hollering like a wild hyena. And I'm like, what's the purpose of that?
Are you talking about Boule Martin?
Yeah, screaming and hollering like a hyena.
Look, Boule Martin is more sassy than you are.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what's really what's really going on in your pocket? Because it doesn't make sense. You're gonna have a heart attack and a stroke because somebody can think for themselves.
Yeah. That's a get down. But but let me run down the thing they're gonna say. You must have been getting paid by the Republicans along with me, and Trump must be paying you along with me. So look out for your Trump checks or your RNC checks or whoever, because somebody's paying you. Nobody's paying me.
Nobody. I never
know that.
I know.
Because that's what they say all the time. When you think for yourself, somebody gotta pay you. You can't think for yourself. I've said this before. The Democrats, the way they treat us is on some anti-black racism. Let me tell you why. It is. Let me try to finish this off. It's with this. The open racists that's on the right wing will say you have a low IQ, right? That's what they say. They're basically saying you're dumb. On the left wing, they basically think the same way about you. Like you can't think for yourself. They got to think about it. I got to tell you what to think. I got to tell you how to vote because you don't know no better. Black people, what they say, black people are subject to misinformation, disinformation, but nobody else, just black people. That's just another way of saying, like the right-wing racists would say, oh, you're just a low IQ, you don't know nothing. They the same. That's what people don't understand. They are the same.
The left wing and the right wing belong to the same bird.
But because, this one over here will say, well, black people, they sly as a fox or whatever. And they may say, hey, black people, vote for me. I'm not going to eat meat anymore. If you just vote for me. And black people vote for him. And then when the fox go to eating meat, you're like, why is he eating meat? Well, I am a fox. That's that sort of thing, and all the time, another 4 years, the same fox come back. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we'll be on here for 10 hours talking about the lunacy of what happens in Black America. But sister, I thank you for joining me on the show tonight. I greatly appreciate you giving us some education on what Kamala Harris is doing in California and also, what's going on there. I got one last question before we wrap up. Years ago, you gave me some information about what it costs to live comfortably. What's your opinion now in the LA area or just in California? What would you have to make a year to live comfortably there now after inflation?
About 200,000.
200,000?
200,000 because if you now that depends on if you want a home or not. The average mortgage is about $4,500 to $6,000 per month if you want a home, and the average car note now is running like $600-700 a month. So it depends on what's comfortable to you. Now, if you want to just survive, you could probably just survive on, well, let's just say this. In 2010, $80,000 a year, you was doing pretty good. That was in 2010.
Okay.
Now, $80,000 is barely, that's you'll survive. You'll be able to do a few things, but you can't save any money. You can't really move forward. You got to actually, after the taxes hit you, and they tax the crap out of you here, you need to gross probably close to 200,000 if you want to not have to worry about your kids and your mortgage and food. That's what you're gonna have to bring. That's my opinion.
And we know the average black person in America don't make nowhere near that.
No. And in the Bay, I mean, and if you live in Northern California or the Bay, you definitely might have to make a little more than that, because the average home is over $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's just a little small home.
Yeah, that's something that's very small. That's why I'm like, when I see these home prices, I'm like, California, basically, they want that state for the rich, and they want to move everybody working class out. And what the rich don't understand, you need the working class. You need those people. But they'll say, okay, that's no problem. We're going to import the migrants to replace the Americans. And, I tell my people, look, if, people going to Vegas, and I know that everybody, it's sad that we should stay there and fight for it. But at the same time, these people, we so outnumbered in California.
We are.
And they are literally trying to ethnically cleanse California of black people. Watch downtown L.A. They about to clean that up. Watch.
Oh yeah.
They about to clean that up. You're like, this is downtown L.A.? What in the hell happened?
Mm-hmm.
Them people going to be gone.
Yep.
You watch. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, sister, thank you for taking up the time to talk to us tonight and give us some education about, what happened with Kamala and just give us more information that, I already knew my position on it, but man, it didn't sit well with my spirit to hear that happen to the parents and the children. So definitely, sister, you be blessed and definitely tell your family I said hello.
Will do. Stay black. Be one.
All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get back over here. So I wanted y'all to hear everything that was, that she said, and our people in California is suffering. They're suffering. Because I remember last time I went to California, when I went to downtown L.A. and I seen so many of our people, we ain't talking about Skid Row. We just talking about downtown L.A. I mean, and it's just not black people. I seen white people too. People with a lot of mental health issues is out just on the street. Like, they got mental health people that really need mental health services just out on the street. I mean, I don't know if y'all remember that time I told y'all that we was going into this diner over there and it was rated high for some good food. And right outside the diner, they had this man there. I mean, and he was a white man, and they had a Coca-Cola can. Let's say this Windex right here was a Coca-Cola can. And I mean, he's just cussing this Coca-Cola can, you mother effer, you stop effing with me. And I look up, and I look at my wife, I look at my kids. I'm like, man, this dude, he is really thrown off. I mean, he's angry with this Coca-Cola can. And then I said, oh no, let's walk around him. Let him and his can just kind of have that out. I ain't bothering that dude because he may crash out. I mean, that kind of stuff. A lot of mental health people walking around there like that. Like, what's going on in California? You understand? But this your Democrats. This is the people that we supposed to go vote for, and you hearing what they doing black people. But they bringing all the migrants in and treating them like kings and queens. That's why I say the Democrats are ethnically cleansing black people out of California. And black people, for them to live, they gotta leave. I mean, look what they doing to them. A lot of them going to Vegas because they can get back to, that what was it, 3-hour drive from LA to Vegas. They do that, so they can go back and visit friends and family. But my God, a lot of our brothers and sisters have came to Texas, like she said, to Atlanta, just different places. Some people going to Florida, different places they're going. And immediately when they if they even have a house and they sold it, they're immediately winning when they come here, or when they go to Georgia or whatever, they're winning. If they play their cards right, don't get too brand new, I would say some of them $1 million homes some of y'all own. I'm talking about even some of y'all black people. And you get that $1 million, you can come to a place like Texas, buy you a nice house. Don't overdo it. Just buy that house cash because you got it. Buy that house cash. Don't overpay because that's when y'all jacking up the housing price. Don't overpay. Just buy it cash. Be done with it. Hey, if you own your car, your house, them two things for sure. You buy your car straight up and say, I'm riding this car till the wheels fall off. I'm good. And you can still have some money left over in the bank. So you can either, hey, maybe you get transfer your job or you start a new business or something. You can actually do very well coming to the South, especially if you had a house and you sold it. But even if you're starting your life over, you're a hustler, you're going to make it. That's just bottom line. That's America for you. But why would I want 4 years of that? Look at what we got now. I can't vote for that in good conscience. I don't care about nobody color. I can't vote for that. Listen, when it was Biden, but forget Kamala, when it was Biden, remember, I said the same thing. I can't vote for him. Look at how horrible the economy is. So she doesn't make a difference. Not at all. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight on Sound Off Friday. It was a little different, but hey, that's great. It's all about bringing people on and having conversation. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. It's very, very important. And my brothers and sisters in California, we definitely praying for you. That's for sure. But the Democrats got to move around. And these boule people, I told y'all before, they're the enemy of black people. I told y'all that because they'll sit there and they will vote for things that will sell you down the river because they getting a check. They getting their reparations all day long for selling you down the river. You understand? They are not your friends. They're not my friends. Make sure you click the like button. It's very important. And download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Once you do that, hit create account. And then from there, you can select monthly, quarterly, or yearly. All those proceeds come to the show and help us to maintain, expand, and we got to do a lot of maintaining and expanding, that's for sure. Definitely as we go into 2025, we got some big projects we want to complete, but it's gonna take you to support us so we don't have huge sponsors or control like that. We don't get no RNC money or Trump money or DNC money or Kamala money. We don't get any of that. That's going to Megan Thee Stallion. But yeah, she paid Megan Thee Stallion to shake her butt on stage. But thank y'all for listening, ladies and gentlemen. And we will see you tomorrow on Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time for the stream.